This show is about two people giving their opinions. They are not experts on the matter. They are just people who want to have a chat. If you have any questions about morality or any other issues, please talk to the priest. Yes or no? Altar serving is better than singing in the choir. Spicy.
That is spicy. That's a very Catholic spiciness. I'm going to say yes. Believe it or not. And, you know, there are several things, several reasons, right? So one is the graces. I know, you know, obviously the celebrant, the priest at Mass has the most graces, but second only to him are the servers. You know, you're participating in the sacrifice in a more direct manner than you are in the choir. Fun is an interesting, I don't know which one would be more fun, right? If I could pick one, singing is pretty fun. I'd probably have to give a slight edge to singing for fun. But overall, I think, yes, I think serving is better than singing in the choir.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, I think it's tough because it's not, I actually do have an answer for this. It's fairly clear in my mind too, but I think that oftentimes the question is, okay, who has the talent to sing? Because not everyone does, you know, and I think that is something that the people who can sing should actually be in the choir, even if they prefer to be servers, because likely there are people who can serve anyway, right? So if you don't have the talent. So I think that it's not actually, maybe it's not even what you want to do. Maybe it's sometimes what you should do. And, you know, say you and I can both sing in the choir. And if, you know, the choir, and maybe some big choirs don't need, you know, you or me, but let's say they do, then I would say, hey, let's try to find someone else who can serve, even though I actually agree with you. Serving is actually better because, as you said, it's actually almost objectively so, I think, because if you think about it again, as you said, the graces are much higher, and we're not even supposed to be allowed to serve. It should actually be a cleric who always serves at the Mass. It's just because we live in the extreme times, and we live in really kind of the, you know, a church in the wilderness kind of a thing. So that's why young boys are allowed to serve, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think that was also, you know, even St. Pius X, I think, was maybe moving towards that, you know, Pius XII as well. But still, it is still an exceptional privilege to be able to be on the altar. And I would say too, you can get kind of I don't want to say a high, but you know what I mean. I think it's you have that, it's the wrong word, but it's almost correct, where it's like, okay, you have the feeling, if you sing a great Mass and you're up there part of a Palestrina Mass or something that you're like, and you finish and you're like, wow, that was...
You finish, you get chills. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was uplifting, and you could tell it was beautiful, and people come up afterwards and say that was amazing. And you really feel like, wow, I added to the glory of God. But honestly, for me, if I serve even a low Mass, I always end up going after that Mass and feeling really fulfilled, like really like, wow, this is what I should be doing. Like, this is the peak. Like, I was just at the foot of the altar of God. You know, I was just assisting at the Mass, which is an incredible privilege and honor. And so I think I have to give it to that. But in terms of enjoyment, oh, it's tough. That's a tough one, because I think, you know, being able to sing one of these big Masses in a big choir is, it's a beautiful thing. But again, I think it's not always about what you want. And I think that's a great, we've talked about that also on podcasts before. If you can't sing, don't be in the choir.
How you're looking at it from like a supply demand perspective.
Yeah, it's true though. Right? I think it's
harder to find good men singers than it is to find good men servers.
Absolutely. And so I think it's something that, as you're raising your children, I think it's a good thing to try, you know, with your boys, obviously, and see, hey, you know, first of all, which one do you want to do? I think that's fine. If someone has you know, they really want to serve, of course, but I think it's probably a healthy thing. I have a 2-year-old boy, so I'm not there yet, but I would think it would be a good idea to say, hey, let's try both, you know, try singing, try serving. And the best case, if you can do both, right? You and I can both, every now and then, sometimes we sing, sometimes we serve. I think you and I both sing more than we serve, but
yeah, because of that requirement.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think, and I think sometimes, I'm sure you would agree with me that oftentimes, especially if you're serving a normal high Mass, serving's a lot less stressful than singing in the choir. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
singing in the
Oh,
choir
yeah.
requires
Oh, yeah.
sometimes very, very stressful moments, and especially if you're leading a part and stuff, it can be really hard. So it's not always fun, but it is
Another
very
added
rewarding.
benefit of serving. You can't hold your kids and be dealing with your kids all at the same time.
That would be pretty weird. Yeah.
So you get to escape.
That's true. That's true. That actually kind of is a funny image, of a dad up there holding a baby while holding a candle up there. It's like, shh, hey,
Hold your hands.
Maybe one of the more liberal traditionalist parishes. We're not recommending anybody do that, but that would actually be kind of funny. Someone was telling me a story. I think it was Father Heine, and he told me the story a long time ago, but I think he was telling the story that speaking of supply and demand, he was, I think it was during Holy Week or something, and I remember him telling me the story that he was somehow, he would go up, like he started serving and he went back and he had to sing and he came back down to serve and he went back. And it was something, I don't remember the exact story. Sorry, Father Heine, if I'm butchering it. It was a long time ago, but I remember there was some story about going back and forth, having to serve and to sing in a mass. And it shows you, I guess, if you have both talents.
Sounds like you need to have him on for an episode of this.
Ah, that would be and priest. I don't know if I want to talk to priests about moral questions though. Then I'd have to agree. It's like, oh, okay, that's the answer. Yeah. But I think that's the answer. But that's the interesting thing about this, because I think again, it's like a lot of these questions don't have a right or a wrong. Maybe they do. This one I actually think might. I actually think this is actually more objective, because I think it is like, well, it is better to be. Sorry, ladies. Sorry, it actually is better, and you don't get that chance.
We both agreed on it, so therefore, it's right.